it, fella. Look here.
Stand by.
One for Sealab, two for Ego, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Kevin, also known as the Wolverine, along with my super companion, singular, head in a jar Higo, also known as Jar Higo, also known as Old Ben Higo. Ben. Welcome to the podcast, folks. This week, Chad is taking the week off to gallivant around the outback with Mick Dundee. So Jar Higo and myself will be manning the helm and talking about the whatever 2000 sort of, this isn't really a remake. What would you call this?
Hors d'oeuvre, sort of, I guess.
Yeah. This is a hors d'oeuvre in its most pure sense of the definition. And that movie would be, of course, Chips, which is based off the 1980s television show of the same name, starring Dax Shepard, written by Dax Shepard, directed by Dax Shepard, and also starring Michael Pena, D'Onofrio,
Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's right. And then, Jesus, man, the guy that played Clay Davis in The Wire, who's so awesome. He was great. Anyway, a lot of great actors. And, yeah, let's dive in, man. On some high level, man.
Nice. Yeah, all right. High Lev. This movie, I think, is an early case of the ever prevalent review bomb that seems to be going on these days, where haters just hate. I don't know, man. You know, I mean, I'll give it an upfront rating. I'm going to say that this is like a 6.5, maybe a 7. It's a solid action comedy movie, man. I don't understand what I don't understand what all the hate is about. I think, you know, I mean, is it a perfectly accurate portrayal of the original series? No, it's not. But I mean, I watched a couple episodes of the original series today, and I got to tell you, it's not like it was something to be like, you know, you know, I mean, I love it. It's nostalgic and it's funny and it's great, you know, but it's not like some groundbreaking shit here, you know.
No, it's most definitely not that.
Like, you know, I don't think Dax Shepard is like fucking traipsing over the graves of fucking, you know, Ponch and Baker here. I think
no.
You know, I think plot wise it's actually, you know, the like the whole heist thing, the whole plot, like this pretty basic fear for, you know, vintage Chips episodes. Like the premise is pretty fucking dead on.
It's pretty Chips.
Yeah.
It's pretty Chips.
I mean, it's updated, it's modern, it's you know, it's kind of raunchy, which Chips was a little more wholesome, you know, so I guess maybe people might have a reason to be butthurt about that, but if they're prudes or something. But I don't know, man. I think this is a solid, good, you know, like it's not something you're going to watch a million times, but maybe you will. Like if it's on TV, like you'll probably sit down and watch it because it's pretty funny and it's entertaining. And there's some good fucking action and some great fucking motorcycle stunts and, you know. What do you think, man?
I'm there. I think, okay, firstly, I like the idea of an upfront rating. So I will see your 6, and I'm going to give this movie an 8.73.
Oh, shit.
This movie blew me away.
Well, to be fair, I believe I did say 6.57.
You did.
Or 6.5 or a 7. So I'm going to just jump up to 7 with your 8.573 there. Yeah.
All right, let's try an experiment this week. So we're going to do an upfront rating, and then we'll do a back end rating as well, like we always do, and see if our minds are changed and our scores are elevated.
Ooh.
Because right,
tasty.
Because this thing blew me away. Like when you suggested it, I was kind of like, all right, you know, it seemed like it looked kind of ho hum and lame, and I don't dislike Dax Shepard. I don't think that he's a lack of talent or anything like that. I just never latched onto him.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, when I saw the movie came out, like Chips was a beloved show when I was a kid, and I was just kind of like, okay, but like this blew me away. This movie was so funny. I was laughing out loud the entire time. I started watching it again on the way home from work, safety third. And I was like laughing at all of these jokes, man. Like this was really well written. Like I thought it was really sharp and really funny. And I'm a huge Michael Pena fan. Number one, I just love him.
Oh,
And now
he's so
I'm a huge,
good, dude.
now I'm a huge Dax Shepard fan because he did a phenomenal job of writing, acting, and directing this movie. Like it's excellent. I love this movie. This will be one of those comedy movies that you watch like a million times. This will be one of those movies for me. There's no question about it. Like it's that funny. And I love all the actors in it, and everybody brought A game. Like you said, the plot was very Chips, you know, the story was very Chips.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
you know, just to kind of like bleed out a high level and into, you know, the rest of it. I think my only real gripe is that I think like doing an old 80s TV show, I think Starsky and Hutch did it better. Like they did a great job of setting it in the 70s, which was the time period that the show took place in.
Yes.
And, you know, kind of working all of that stuff in there. And it was, you know, hors d'oeuvre, and it was really, really great. You know what I mean? Like, if I think anything's lacking here, I think they should have given it the similar treatment. I think that would have been a great direction to go. That said, I don't dislike the movie. Like, I think it's really funny, and I think that the plot is great. And Dax Shepard just killed me. They both did. Like, I haven't laughed out loud like that in a movie in a while, and it was really refreshing. So this is excellent and well-deserved of my early 8.73.
That's great, man. I'm glad I suggested it because I was like, all right, so they're going to go one of two ways. He's going to fucking hate it.
Yep.
And it's going to be a rough podcast, or he's going to love
Gripe
it, and it's going to be like it's
yep.
going to be a love fest, you know. So I'm glad you dug it. It's funny you bring up Starsky and Hutch. That was sort of like that's what I was thinking because you and I both dug on Starsky. You know, Slab was not digging it, or it wasn't digging it as much. You know, I knew we probably wouldn't have like the nostalgia about Chips, all that stuff. So it's a good one for a twofer, I think. For the two of us, at least we're both familiar with the source material and stuff. But when like looking at it earlier today, looking at some ratings, you know, watching some videos, etc., it was, you know, favored favorably compared to Starsky and Hutch, and not so favorably in comparison to like the Jump Street movies. Which I'm not familiar with the source material there or with the movies really.
Okay.
But people seem to think that those were great and that this one and Starsky were like meh, you know, or just dreck basically. But
wow.
Funnily enough, like people were, part of my thinking was like, oh, but you know, the Starsky movie, like we both like the Starsky movie, so maybe Movie will like this one.
Yeah.
And then you know, to see it like compared favorably in comparison to the Starsky movie was interesting.
Yeah, and to wish that it was kind of more like that. Like, so it would have been cool if they had set it like in an 80s setting, you know what I mean? And you could have like really leaned into some of those 80s tropes, and that would have been a great way to go. Like, again, they didn't need any help making this movie funny. It was definitely funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, after watching a couple episodes of the original series, I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, it would have been great to get some of the disco soundtrack rocking and, you know,
totally,
some,
dude.
I don't know, some jet ski action or some roller skating action.
Definitely.
Or, you know, some,
yes.
some kind of, you know, like, timely 80s, you know, 70s, 80s, timely tropey shit that was going on television at the time.
Oh, yeah.
In there. But, you know, I think maybe leaving that behind was the right decision because this was a pretty really funny movie, man.
It was. I think they could have done it, leaned into it, but either way, it was great. You know what I mean? And I think what you said, like, or just to go back to what you said in your high level opener, it's like, I don't I didn't really pay attention to all the hating. I just heard it, here and there from other people. And like, I just don't get why people are hating on this movie. Like, this is a solid comedy offering, like hands down. You cannot deny that, man. I don't see how you possibly could. There's a lot of great shit in here.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, we're going to have to get into some of the blow by blow. I guess people didn't think that that Pena and Shepard had a lot of chemistry, Okay. I kept hearing a lot of like, oh, they argued through the whole thing. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, but they're friends by the end, and that's like pretty standard fare for buddy cop shit, especially where like one guy has a partner who got killed and he's saddled up with a rookie, and I mean, it's pretty standard fucking shit. I don't know what people were thinking, and I almost want to say that like at the start of the original series, like it was kind of like that, like, and it was always kind of like that, right? Like Ponch and Baker were always sort of like, I mean, they were buddies, but they were sort of, like waiting to like, like crack on the other dude or, one up each other or that kind of shit, constantly. Yeah. It was ribbing and yeah.
And a little bit at odds, Poncherella was a hothead and Baker was like, kind of the sort of the cool-headed Boy Scout. But,
exactly.
He would stand his ground, so you were going to get some mixing it up there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think they did a fair job at representing it here. And, it's an origin story.
Agreed.
So, the way they chose to put it all together here, I think it worked fine the way they did it.
Same.
And it actually worked well for a lot of the comedy, I think, for them to be a little bit at odds,
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
It was same as Starsky, dude. Same as 21 Jump Street. Like I am familiar with the 21 Jump Street movies and the source material. And I think I'm glad you brought that up because that's another excellent comparison. Like have never really been like a Channing Tatum fan. Like I just don't really care for him.
Uh-huh.
But when I saw 21 Jump Street, like he was hysterical. And so is Jonah Hill. Like they were a perfect pairing. And those movies ended up being very funny. And I watched the first one and I watched the second one and I was delighted. And I was, it was one of those situations where I was glad to be wrong, and kind of this one too, because not that I really had an expectation. I just kind of was like nonplussed about it. I was like, no, whatever.
Yeah. Interesting.
But this was excellent. And so was 21 Jump Street, and I would encourage anybody out there, even if you haven't seen either of the original shows, like check out the movies because they're definitely funny, dude.
That's interesting because a lot of people were, it was kind of a recurring theme, at least in a few different reviews that I read and watched, where it was like, if you're going to do something like this, what you want to do is not this, meaning the Chips movie, and something more like the 21 Jump Street thing. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting because I have no idea there. So I'm kind of interested to hear your take on that for sure.
Well, I mean, to be fair to us, instead of all those losers, what I'll say is I think both 21 Jump Street and this could have been serviced by giving it the Starsky and Hutch treatment of setting it in the time period. It's a little bit tougher with 21 Jump Street because it was kind of like, I feel like that was like late 80s, early 90s. I'm going to just go ahead and eject on that.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Go ahead and do it. Okay, so the original 21 Jump Street was 87 to 91. So really, it's like an 80s show, man. Like
late 80s show.
Well, late 80s show. We're definitely straddling the 90s, right? Or straddling the edge of the decades there.
I think a lot of the times when I think of the 90s, what I'm really thinking of is like the late 80s.
Yeah, right. I'm feeling you there. This like 87 to 91. So I guess this is really like a late 80s show. Chips was an early to mid 80s show.
Yeah, I mean 70s to sort of mid-ish 80s. Yeah.
Wait,
I think the first season I think was in 78, wasn't it? I might be wrong about that. I'm going to say it was 79 anyways.
Oh shit, 77 to 83, dude. You're right.
There you go.
Okay, so that's
Well,
good,
I
man.
mean, we're,
Those
you
two
know.
shows. I mean,
Between the two of
really
us, we
unpacking
sort of
this.
got it. Yeah.
yeah, we're really unpacking this. All right, so Chips is straddling the 70s into the 80s, 21 Jump Street, 80s into the 90s. Done.
This week in this episode, Everybody Dies.
That's
Kevin
right.
Ben mince about dates.
So I think, like, that being said, you could, Jump Street, I'll still hold strong to my original comment to kind of get us back to where we
Sure.
were. Like, Jump Street could have done great with, like, an 80s, 90s setting, and that would have been cool if we had gotten that treatment, and ditto with this, like a 70s, 80s treatment.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome, just like Starsky was like early 70s. You know what I mean? So I think that would have been a great way to go. But again, I've already said it 3 times. Like, there's nothing wrong with this movie. Like, it's funny. So I guess, like, the haters are right from the sense that, yeah, it wasn't really Chipsian, in its sort of execution, other than the fact that they were CHPs and they wore the uniforms and they rode the bikes. I mean, really beyond that, we didn't even really get a lot of the theme music in there. It was a little bit disappointing.
Nothing. So
nothing.
like, I mean, good.
Yeah, exactly.
They put some good music in there, but it had nothing to do with the original series.
Yeah, no Chips music, exactly. So, like, I think we definitely need to do Chips 1999 at some point. It was made for TV movie. It was like a reunited kind of thing.
Oh, dude, we watched that, didn't we?
I know that you and I watched
back
it.
in the day, I remember we watched that.
Yes, dude. We need to share it with everybody on the show. Right?
Fair.
I think I had a copy on VHS for a while, but at any rate, the movie. I mean, look, to the haters' credit, it really doesn't have a ton to do with the original show. Aside from the names of the characters and all that.
I mean,
but. What? Go.
I think people just hated the movie. They just didn't think it was funny, but or they just didn't want to like it because I don't know. I don't know why.
I get it.
I came to this movie fully expecting that I was going to hate it, and I ended up watching it, because I was bored one day for whatever reason, and I was very pleasantly surprised. So maybe it was like all the like front loaded hatred that sort of like I was like, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. It was pretty good.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No, it was excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed every single minute of this movie. It didn't have any weak spots. It didn't have any lulls. It was a perfect length, almost to the point where it was so funny. I was like, man, this is almost over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, wait, I was like, this is almost over, dude. Come on, man. Like, that's how good it was. I was like, this is excellent, man. So I don't know.
Yeah, one good thing about starting late was I was able to get through the entirety of it twice.
Yeah, man. Right? Yeah, it was really, really good, dude. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Excellent stuff. All right, so let's hit the cast. We're gonna do a bit of let's do a paella. We're gonna do cast, and we're gonna mix in our bits and bobs, and just kind of unpack it that way. As this is a comedy movie, and those are actually rather challenging to do. I'll kick it off by saying, tell me about Dax Shepard. You know this guy more than I do. I saw him in Everything Must Go, and that was kind of my first exposure to him. And then, obviously, Idiocracy. He was really funny in that, too. But I haven't had a ton of exposure to him. I don't know what his deal is, or like what his claim to fame is, but he's definitely funny and he's definitely talented. He was hysterical in this.
Yeah, well, I guess I mainly know him from Idiocracy.
Okay.
I know he's in, good Lord. He's in The Ranch. It's a pretty popular TV series.
What do you mean, the Netflix show?
The Ranch, yeah. I don't watch it, but I know he's on it. So
he is?
Yeah. He
Dude,
is.
I absolutely hate that show.
Okay, well, I don't watch it anyways.
It's a good thing that
I think he
don't.
kind of got popular and punked.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's on The Ranch, because those are both Ashton Kutcher things.
Yeah. So anyways, I know him through his podcast. He's got a podcast called Armchair Expert with his co-host, Monica Padman. And it's a pretty good podcast, great guests, etc. They went Spotify exclusive recently.
Oh,
Haven't listened as much since then, but
okay.
that's where I know him from. I also know that he's a huge fucking gearhead.
Really?
Yeah, massive gearhead, cars, motorcycles. I know he did a bunch of his own stunts in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's impressive.
He was definitely
Yeah.
actually riding through all that shit. So
Oh, wow. Cool.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he did like the extreme motocross jumps, etc. But
Sure. Interesting.
so he's an interesting, creative, funny dude, man.
Yeah, he really is.
He's kind of been
man.
lurking around for years, and I think
Definitely, right? A lurker.
yeah, no doubt. He's done tons of bit parts and great shit. So it's interesting to see him at the helm of this. And
Okay. Yeah, that is really good. Yes, I did. I'm confirming that he is on the ranch. I absolutely can't stand that show. It is so unfunny and dumb in the most like sitcom-y, annoying way, which sucks because it has like awesome people in it, man. Nancy Travis, Kurtwood Smith, Lou Diamond Phillips,
Interesting.
John Cryer, dude. It's got freaking Mustache himself, bro. Sam Elliott.
Wow. Yeah, I've never watched it. I mean, actually, yours is the first personal review I've got. So that's interesting.
Dude, Barry Corbin's in it, bro.
Hell, I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it'd help. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly right, man.
Well, that's a bummer, man.
Okay.
There's some great. Well, anyways, we're not talking about that.
No, we're not. But just to kind of keep the focus on Shepard for a second,
yeah.
like I didn't know he did all that stuff. And now I'm gonna kind of seek out some more of his work because I definitely really like this movie. Like I don't know, whatever people say about this guy, like he's excellent, man. I mean, this is really funny. It's well written too, man. And he directed it. Like that's pretty awesome, man.
Sorry, now I'm looking at fucking IMDb.
Okay. No, it's all right. I'm looking on Wikipedia as well. So there's like some major ejectos going on here. I have to jot all
So
that
he was
down.
in an episode of My Name is Earl. He's done some Robot Chicken. He's Top Gear America. He's I mean, this guy's all over the place. Paw Patrol the movie. Wow.
Ooh, I have that.
So there you go. Talk about working.
Yeah, totally, man.
So I thought it was an interesting take for Baker, for him to be like an
Ex-moto.
like an ex.
That's pretty sweet.
Monster Energy Drink, extreme sports kind of loop-de-doo fucking dirt bike rider.
Yes.
Who is just like past his prime, broken down.
Yes.
He's got his like Sunday through Saturday fucking pill boxes full of shit that he needs to take on a daily basis just to cope.
This is really funny. Yeah, I liked it too. He was kind of like broken down and then slightly reconstructed through therapy.
Yeah.
It physically reconstructed too, man. Like, the open, he kind of like lays it all out in the opening, like I've got a pharmaceutical regimen that's pretty awesome, and he's like going through all his injuries. Like, like where we get him is a funny place. You know what I mean? Like torn down and slightly rebuilt. And this is like his end game play to get his quote life back together.
Right. Yeah. He's trying to be a cop because Kristen Bell's dad was a cop.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, Kristen Bell is his real life wife, by the way.
Yeah, no, I knew that. I knew that they were married. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an autobiographical character. I mean, I know he's definitely a gearhead. I know he's definitely had some serious wrap-ups. I know he's definitely like a, famously recovering addict. So...
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's like there's definitely some autobiographical stuff going on there. It might be a little bit him playing himself, sort of, but I think it works for the character, especially the way they bent the movie to it. So
Sure.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just lots of great fucking comedy that ensues from it. You know, I love his little quirk of like, he doesn't like going into other people's homes because they smell funny and it makes him nauseous.
Oh my God, man. That cracked me up. The combination of the pheromones, the smells, the food, the cats. That was great, dude. Absolutely awesome.
Oh, man. The initial one where they go in to see, like, you know, there's like the cop that died's wife, like they go into like interview her. And there's like there's like a pot of stew on.
Yep. Whoa.
There's a pot of stew on, and then like, you know, there's like a cat that like goes into the litter box, and he's just like, it's too much for him. He's just like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
I was literally just watching that, and I like how he like kind of sneakily like turns the lids, so it's covering the pot. Man, yeah. That was great. Good times. I actually took some notes, which amounted to basically like my favorite funny lines in the movie, of which there are many. But I just since we're in that space, like when they're walking out of the first briefing, and they're like, he's like, "This is great. We're kind of suited up, you know, battle armor, ready to go." He's like, "Yeah, this is great. We look like UPS drivers. Go Brown." Really made me laugh.
They definitely get a lot of mileage out of the brown uniforms in this one.
Definitely,
and UPS.
Absolutely. But agreed. I like the way that the take on Baker and the character is great. You know, he's like, I don't know. He's got definition and boundaries. You know, but he's kind of broken too. You know, so I don't know. It just made for a funny combination, man. Like he's great when he's like doling out all the therapy jargon on Ponch, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. But he's definitely kind of got that Boy Scout spirit like original Baker did, you know? Like,
yes.
Like, despite the fact that he's kind of a fuck up and he's recovering and all that stuff, and, you know, he's kind of broken, like, he's got that, like, heart of gold, like, he's doing it for a reason, you know? I think he's got a line at some point where he's like, Ponch is like, well, why save your asshole wife? And he's like, well, dude, you kicked me in my fucked up knee and then told me that my wife was fucking another guy and I fucking still saved your life. So, you know, like you gotta, if you get a chance to save someone, you gotta do it, you know, like, so yeah, he's definitely still got that Boy Scout spirit going.
And it's good. It works. All right. Let's talk about Pena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, what can I say about this guy? He is so talented, man. He's very quickly became one of my favorite actors. He can do and nail just about anything. His list of credits is extensive, man. I don't know what if he's got like the best agent on the planet or what, but he is just on fire. He's been on fire for a while. You know, he comes up with all of these excellent characters in all these movies that he does, man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I like Antoine Fuqua movies, and I like Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, and he's in that, and he's great in that. And he's excellent in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the original Ant-Man, and like, you know, like the list just goes on, man. He can like bring the funny and be super funny, and he can bring the drama and be super serious.
Yeah.
He's excellent. He's the perfect choice to play Poncherello, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. Okay, it is Extinction, I think.
Extinction?
Yeah, have you seen that? It's a sci-fi movie. It's definitely like, it's a more serious role for him, and he's...
Is that the one about the robots on Netflix?
The father has a recurring dream of losing his family. His nightmare turns into reality when the planet is invaded by a force bent on destruction. Fighting for their lives comes to realize an unknown strength to keep them safe from harm. Yeah, so it's kind of one of those, like, he didn't know he was the badass sort of scenarios, I think.
Yeah, I think they were all androids. I did see that.
Yeah. So
that was good.
So yeah, it was good. It was like a more serious role for him. I think I'd only really known him as Luis in like the Ant-Man movies, which it's like an unforgettable role. You know, like it's such a charming, funny role that like you want him to develop superpowers, so he ends up in all the Marvel movies to save the comedy. You know,
right. No, I mean, like, I've bitched about the comedy in the Marvel movies, man, but, like, Ant-Man is very funny, dude, and he is a huge part of that. I mean, Paul Rudd is already funny, so putting him in there with Paul Rudd is just fantastic, man.
Absolutely. I must confess, I don't know a ton of movies that he's been in. I keep discovering him and stuff, and I'm like, oh, he was in this, you know, like, it's sort of like that. But I don't always think to, like, oh, I want to, like sometimes I'll sit down and watch movies, just watch a bunch of movies that actors that I'll just pick an actor like Sam Rockwell or somebody like that and watch a bunch of movies that they were in. And he meaning Michael Pena, is one of those guys that I should do that with, but I haven't. Yes. And I'm just looking at like a cursory overview here on Wikipedia, and dude, from Narcos Mexico on Netflix, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I already mentioned that. He was in, oh my God, what is it called? End of Watch with Gyllenhaal. That was an excellent movie. And Observe and Report, World Trade Center, Crash, the original Crash, Shooter. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of stuff here, and that's just like a couple things. Yeah. You know, I'm admitting that I'm a little malnourished for Michael Pena, but I've got some homework to do, apparently. Yeah. I think his first big thing was in Million Dollar Baby in 2004. Then I guess he was on The Shield as well. I used to watch The Shield. I loved The Shield with Michael Chiklis. Uh-huh. Okay. And, anyway, whatever. This guy is a powerhouse, dude. So he's a perfect person to be in this movie. I also forgot he was in Fury, which I really didn't care for. But well, you can't win them all. No, you can't. But yeah, excellent work, man. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the negative reviews I've read for Chips have credited Michael Pena as being a terrific actor and amazing in everything that he does, and bringing it in this, but still not being able to save the movie. Why? I don't understand. For whatever reason. Like, why are people? You know, like even so, he's still getting cred. So, like, why? I don't understand why people are like, why are they not giving Shepard the same thing? Because, like, he directed it and did an excellent job. He was super funny in the movie. The writing was great. Like, without the good writing, you wouldn't have the good comedy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm beating a dead horse, dude. Is what I'm doing. I'm not speaking that language. I like Dax Shepard, but yeah, Pena is excellent. That's it. Excellent comedy timing. Like, the guy was perfect for this role. Yeah. So we'll talk about the role and how they went with Ponch on this one, dude. And it's not super far away from original Ponch. No, you know, nope. Little hot-headed, suave. He's totally a sex addict. Totally, dude. He just has a lot of funny shit in this. Good God, he does. And I like the sex addict inclusion was very funny, and it added a great angle to the show. Yeah, man. To the movie. But, you know, it's like in this version of the movie, so Ponch is actually oh Christ, I can't remember I'm not going to get any good info on this either. Well, he's an FBI agent who goes undercover as Francis Llewellyn Poncherello. I love how you keep saying his full name, dude. It's such a mouthful too. It is a mouthful, but I got to do it. And I remember his name is Castillo, but I don't remember what his first name was. Anyways, he's an FBI agent. Yeah. And, you're opening on him like staring at some girls in yoga pants. As he's supposed to be the undercover getaway driver for these, bank robbers or whatever. And it's just like, it's like a reoccurring film throughout the reoccurring theme throughout the film, rather. Like him in the yoga pants. Yes. Excellent. And I love how like Ponch kind of got on board with it at the end. You know what I mean? Dude, so funny. So funny. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Pretty close to Ponch. I liked it. Yeah. So, I mean, they got the spirit, right? Yeah. Right. They didn't clone them, but they got the spirit, right? I thought. No. Yeah. I agree with you. I think the spirit of the two characters was right, even if they didn't nail the spirit of the show. Yeah, yeah. But I think they kind of did nail the spirit of the show. Yeah.
Let me backtrack on that. You're right. The spirit of the show was there because the plot was super simple and it was just like a Chips episode. It was like a bunch of dudes robbing some shit on the highway.
Yeah, crooked cops doing
Yeah.
highway robberies on souped up
bikes.
Ducatis, and Ponch is the undercover FBI agent that's teamed up with rookie cop Baker, and they get tangled up in the shit. So it's pretty, that's a basic premise of the movie, and that's as fucking basic 101 Chips as it gets. I mean that's
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah. And it's like, I think you're the one that said it. Like, everything on Chips is like, it's like every other cop show, but the crime scene is always on a highway. Yeah,
And it's always like not unlike the A-Team. It's like the uncle that owns the trucking company.
Yeah.
It's getting shaken down, dude. They gotta get in there and stop some nefarious shit. And then there's like boxes and ramps and shit. It's great.
Yeah.
Where
do you think this stacks up versus like the other 80s? I mean, we talked about like 21 Jump Street and Starsky and Hutch, but there was also Dukes of Hazzard. There was
yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
What else? I had something and I'm drawing a blank now.
It's all right. Come back to it. I'll start answering the question while you're thinking about that.
Okay.
I think, I'm glad you brought up Dukes because that's another good one, dude. Like, Dukes was great, and Dukes did it right. They just kind of took the original show, and they kind of did like a bit of a fish out of water thing where the guys are just kind of like stuck in that kind of headspace of like the 80s, but it takes place in like modern times, you know? But they leaned into it hard and they turned it up to 11, and it was funny and it worked really well. Like, I really enjoyed Dukes of Hazzard. I thought it was pretty funny. So
yeah, that was
how does this?
That was I believe written and directed by J. Chandrasekhar from Broken Lizard, the dudes that did Super Troopers and
right?
all those movies. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I know he was definitely at least the director. So yeah, I mean, I liked that. I thought it was great, and I think this stacks up with it. And I know that one probably is pretty hated too. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, and I like these.
I don't know, dude. What I think I liked Dukes of Hazzard. I thought it was fun. It was just goofy. They weren't trying to like do anything amazing with it. They were just like, let's turn it up to 11 and make it goofy fun. It's like, what else are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, fuck it, let's put Johnny Knoxville in a movie. Now one where he pretends to be mentally challenged, and
yeah, really.
I'm still drawing a blank on. I know there's one other one for sure.
I know there is too, man, and I can't.
I'm like trying to like Google search here, and I'm fucking drawing a blank. Oh wait, no, there was an A-Team remake too. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh shit, you're right. There was, dude, and I saw that. And I remember it had Liam Neeson as Hannibal. That was very. It
was a bizarre choice there.
Yeah, really weird choice. And like the guy that played BA was like, not that he was bad, he was an unknown actor, so that made it a little strange for me personally. After being like a Mr. T acolyte when I was a kid,
he's just such a character. How do you recast Mr. T?
Come on, man.
Yeah,
you can't.
You can't. I mean, because he's not. Mr. T is just being Mr. T. He's not playing B.A. Baracus. Yes. I mean, I guess in his eye, he's playing B.A. Baracus, but the rest of us know it's just Mr. T.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Oh, dude. How did I never pick up on this? Sorry, man. This is noteworthy. The Michael Dorn that played Worf, our beloved Worf on all the Star Trek shows.
Craving the blood of a live Kolar beast.
Thank you. Yes. Well, apparently he was craving the blood of a live Kolar beast on Chips because he was on it from 79 to 82.
What?
Dude, as Officer Jedediah Turner. Yes. No. I'm reading it right now.
I gotta, Christ's sakes.
I got the page open on Wiki on my computer, and I'm looking at that, and I was like, what does that say? And I lean in, and sure enough, Michael Dorn, bro. Biggity bam.
I had no idea.
I didn't either, dude, until right now. I never put that together.
Oh my God, dude, that's great.
Isn't that awesome?
He's got a sick mustache, man.
He does have a sick stash and a shorn head, but I love the stash.
He's got a sick mustache going on. Oh my God.
Yeah, he does. I forgot Bruce Jenner was on that show too.
On Chips? Yeah. I mean, dude, Chips is so far back that I don't really...
So right.
I don't remember a ton about it. I remember loving it because, like,
I know.
I just, I mean, I still love motorcycles. I loved motorcycles
Same.
more than anything. Like kids like trains or fucking, airplanes or whatever, rockets, whatever it is when you're a kid. Like, my thing when I was a kid was motorcycles. I loved fucking motorcycles. So
did I. That and cars. I mean, come on, dude.
Chips was like the motorcycle show. Really? I mean,
bar none, the motorcycle show. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, back in the day, it was the motorcycle show. So
100%, it was.
But I was like 4 years old, so I really wouldn't remember. I wouldn't remember Dorney there, but
sure,
that is a great nug.
Yeah, it is, right?
Great on the spot nug there.
Yeah, that was a nice find. So that remake was okay. It was, I don't know. Again, like I think
it was another hors d'oeuvre.
It was a hors d'oeuvre, but like it was more like this than it was the original show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of took place now. Like again, like 21 Jump Street and this. Whereas I think they would have done well leaning into the time period, and like keeping it kind of stuck to that would have been cool. It's like you either got to do one or the other. You got to lean into like the 80s thing and like set one of these things in the 80s, or you got to go completely in the other direction and like make an updated thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think both are risky. I think making an updated thing is way more risky because you're trying to basically say, okay, here's my vision of it, And that's not always going to work, and that's not always going to be accepted by the public at large. Clearly, like the case of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if that was the case in this particular, franchise, one-off franchise, as it were, and as it shall remain, apparently. But I think in some of the cases, maybe I feel like the money people are like, we need to make it appealing to, kids too. So we don't want to make it a period piece, like we don't want to make it take place in the 70s or whatever, which seems kind of like a fucking odd move because it's a fucking cash grab, nostalgia fucking bomb for dudes our age, basically, like
sure.
If you make it, if you make it, they will come, right? Like,
right. But like as a sidebar, like as I think this is noteworthy is like, I don't know, like, I mean, certainly maybe not where you are, but like I can tell you like where I am, like all I got to do is like walk out and look around. And it's like everybody's into the 80s, man. Like we're seeing fanny packs, dude. I'm seeing leg warmers, like all kinds of 80s shit, mom jeans, like you name it, dude. Like I'm seeing it all over the place. So
hey, man. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the vaporwave future to come.
Yeah, right. I know you are. Exactly, man. You know what I mean? But it's like we're seeing like Stranger Things, like we're seeing all these different things. So like I don't really get what the problem is. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem to go away, does it? It just seems to continue.
It seems to get
nostalgia
stronger.
for the 80s. So maybe people didn't realize that it was going to be so powerful at the time or whatever. But anyways, who the hell knows what goes on in the minds of Hollywood executives? I really don't know. Apparently, ejaculating on plants is one thing that goes through the mind of certain Hollywood executives. But whether or not to make these like 80s TV masterpiece remakes, period pieces, or modern readaptations,
yes,
that's anybody's guess.
Yes.
So what do we got?
Well, I mean, let's keep going, dude. Jane Kasmerick, I don't think I'm pronouncing her name right. The mom from freaking Wonder Years, dude. She was the captain.
Yes.
I was like driving me crazy. I was like, who is this woman? I know her from something.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh, that's right. She's from whatever the hell I just said.
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. Thank you, dude. Yeah, she's from Wonder Years, man. You know, like good times, dude. Thank you. My
another great sex addict moment from Ponch in the movie.
Right? Oh my God! Right? That was so good.
Where he thinks he's talking to one of the other one of his fellow officers, or he thinks he's sexing with one of his fellow officers, and it turns out to be
not the case.
Jane Kasmerick. He freaks out and throws his phone in the fireplace, but then afterwards he's like, "Dude, bro, body is still tight." Like, totally a familiar face. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So, familiar ground, small part, but really good. Okay. D'Onofrio. We got to talk about this guy for a second, because we've talked about him in other things. Again, like Pino, this guy is just so excellent, man. And I love that he will show up in just the oddest places, always bringing 110% A game, you know, and this is no exception. Yeah. And he is really good at playing like an evil bastard, dude. And he definitely dialed it into 11 in this one too.
You believe that he's like got a little bit of a screw loose, and you don't want to. You don't want to. Like, I would never. Like he's a really funny, interesting dude. Like he writes these really funny poems, and like I've listened to some podcast interviews with him. Like he's a really cool, creative, wonderfully like mind-blowingly interesting dude. But I would never fuck with him.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either, man.
Never. He's very good at being menacing, and not like Private Pyle wasn't necessarily a menacing character,
but he was creepy too at the same time.
Yeah, like by the end, you know, like when he finally blows a fuse, like you believe that shit. 110%. His portrayal of Kingpin.
Oh my God, it's scary.
Fucking amazing.
I know. I agree with you 100%.
Like, he's the guy to do it. There's nobody else that can ever do it, ever. I'm sorry.
No. I 100% agree. This guy is he's just that.
He's that good, man. I think he's probably a little underused, but you're right. He brings 110% to every role. And here he is sort of being like this, B-rate, crooked cop villain in this comedy action movie. And he's fucking absolutely menacing.
He is. And I mean, despite the fact that he's maybe underused, he's definitely an A-list actor. Like, I think I can safely say, like,
no question. No question.
Right?
No question. He is absolutely A-list. He's an excellent actor. Yeah.
And I would say that most people, like if you said like Vincent D'Onofrio, people are like, oh yeah, I know who that is. You know what I mean?
If they don't, you say Private Pyle, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, right. Totally. Yeah, well said. So yeah, kudos to D'Onofrio. Excellent talent. We love him here on the show, and he just keeps bringing the thunder all the time, man. And I mean, anybody that hasn't seen him in as Kingpin, that's probably. I mean, he's so strong in Full Metal Jacket. That was one of his first movies. But when you watch him as Kingpin, he's just absolutely psychotic and menacing, dude. He's great. Yeah. So I would encourage anybody to check that out if you haven't seen it. Next, who else is noteworthy here? Oh, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I want to give it at the very least a shout out to him. Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I know you haven't seen The Wire. Chad and I have gone on about it numerous times. He was he played Clay Davis, the senator, in that, and he was excellent. He was also great in a movie that I love. I don't know if you guys have seen Cedar Rapids or not, but he was excellent as Ronimal in Cedar Rapids, Ronald Wilkes, and he's a great actor, man. He can be funny, he can be not funny. He's awesome. So he played his at the FBI.
That was Ponch's senior at the FBI. Yeah, he was awesome, dude. Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. No, he really is. He's really, really great. Excellent actor, man. And he did a great job of being not only being the ball busting chief, as it were, but bringing some new dimension to it, which I really dug.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was interesting that like the the Chips chief wasn't the one that was the ball busting chief. It was like it was Ponch's superior at the FBI that was sort of like the ball busting chief. So they still brought the trope in, but they didn't they did it a little sneaky, I guess. Yeah.
That's a really great way to put it. Yeah, it was sneaky. What else as we sort of slink our way towards our...
I thought it was pretty cool that Kristen Bell sort of did a bit part, probably for her husband for this. She's pretty great.
She's pretty much great in everything she does.
From fucking Deadwood to...
Right? I loved her in Deadwood.
To, there's a news... I can't remember. It's like the girl in the window by
Veronica Mars?
Something... well, yes, of course, Veronica Mars.
I'm kidding.
It's called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window.
Oh, what? Was it like a comedy or something?
Yeah, it's sort of like I don't know, maybe taking the piss at these psychodrama sort of,
Sure.
like romance psychodrama kind of things or whatever. And it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I thought it was just going to be like a mini series, but it's apparently like an ongoing series. So yeah, a little shout out to Kristen Bell there for sure because she's great.
Yeah, definitely, man. She's always there with. She brings it no matter what. She's good like that. So let's see, who else do we have here in the mix?
What about Rosa Salazar?
Who's that?
She played Ava.
Oh, the bike chick. Yeah, liked her, man. She was cool. Doing a nice rendition of "Don't Call Me a Chick."
Yes,
it was good.
Yeah.
I was feeling that. It was good. Get over yourself, dude. Dude, you're fucking old as fuck. Nobody wants to hear about your failing marriage. Oh, great. I was like, yes. Don't hold back. We're like 5 minutes in. That cracked me up, dude.
So you've been here in like 10 or 15? No.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. So she was in Alita Battle Angel, apparently. I never saw that. But I guess she was in like
we collectively never saw it.
Will not see it. I don't know. Maybe I should see it. I think she was like the main character. But again, not much, I guess. Maze Runner movies.
What? She was in those? As what? I saw like most of those. I haven't seen the last one.
She was in Birdbox.
Really?
She was Brenda.
I need to see. I still haven't seen Bird Box. I've been quote meaning to watch that for like the last 2 years since it came out. I'm always like, oh, I'll watch it next week. I don't know why.
That's didn't we? Oh, it was the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I put up a meme that had her. She's wearing the blindfold on her face with like. So they put her in the middle of like the turtles. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Who else did I really like? Oh, we had a nice little cameo from Maya Rudolph. Yes. Of course, we had that was great. The Poncherello cameo, of course, was excellent.
Eric
Estrada. Love him. Looking great, too, man, for freaking 2022, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
Dave Koechner.
And, oh, man, I love Dave Koechner, man. He's great.
Literally like a fucking 1 minute bit as like the coach.
I know. He was like the CHP trainer at the academy or whatever. He should have been in more of that.
You get the impression that if they were going to do another one of these, he would have definitely come back. But
yeah, for sure, dude. He was great. Good old champ kind. So anyway, excellent cast. I think we got kind of everybody in there, did we not?
Yeah, at least a shout out to everybody, more or less. Bits and bobs.
Yeah, let's do like a quick wrap it with bits and bobs. I kind of dropped I think I might have one more nugget. I do have one more nugget. We can do that as a nuggety bob. So let's just go back and forth. I'm just going to be rattling off basically what lines I thought were excellent and funny in this movie. So,
all right.
What do you got? You want to lead it off?
Sure. I got a few things. All right. I'm just going to open up with it. We got to talk about the tub scene, man. The tub scene?
Okay, yeah. What about
I don't know. It was just
carrying him to the tub?
Yeah. For one, there was definitely like some practical shit going on there. I'm pretty sure Dax Shepard did the stunt of like falling into the tub naked.
Yes.
You know, like you definitely see see Dax Shepard's pubic mound hit Michael Pena in the face. You see like his cheeks like vibrate. Like I don't know how they did all of it, but anyways, like it was just like a really funny physical comedy scene, and just like
well executed from a stunt perspective and a comedy perspective. I really liked it, and I really liked the way it ended up because it kind of broke the ice of the weirdness of the situation. You know what I mean? Like they did a really good job of building up the tension there, and it was really
they built the tension, and then they're like, all the like just everything that can go wrong goes wrong. Like like Dax Shepard's wrapped up in a curtain. Like Michael Pena picks him up. He's trying to bring him to the tub. He steps on the curtain. The curtain rips off of him. They're like, ah! Like.
No, it was a good mix of like predictable because I was like, okay, here we go. He's going to step on the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean?
You knew it was going to go wrong, but it was.
It was a good mix of predictable and new and exciting, I guess you could say. So
it's sort of a good wrap up of the whole thing of like Michael Pena just like clearly not being particularly comfortable with like being. Anything, but in particular being too close to other men, any of that kind of thing. And Dax Shepard constantly being like, "It's okay if you're a homophobe, dude." He's like, "I'm not a homophobe." Like
and constantly shoving it in his face, man. That was great. Okay, so agreed on all points. I'll follow that up with the penis bumping in the locker room in the beginning, like which kind of kicks off the whole thing. Like I love that they were showing that from the crotch perspective. And it was just like they just kept going bump, 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 bump. It was great.
Totally graphic.
Right. I'll follow that up quickly with two that I love from the beginning. I already mentioned UPS drivers. The other one was "Hi, I'm Gay Terry." That was great.
Oh God, yeah.
And super Asian. You got to make a profile for this guy named Bob Lynn. He's got to be super Asian. And I love how he calls the other guy White Bob. That was great. Oh yeah, White Bob. Everybody knows White Bob. What else? What else you got?
Well, I mean, sort of the ultimate, the precipice, the cliff edge of John Baker's inability to stomach the scent of other people's houses. There's a spot at the end where like they go in to raid this like drug house, and Dax Shepard goes in through the back
shithole,
into the back door, and it's just like a kitchen with like a mound of like dishes in the sink, and like there's flies everywhere, and he's just like he's already like oh god, like he's gonna lose it. So he opens the door onto like a room that's just like a total disaster area with two people fucking, and there's like a cat like shitting in the litter box at the foot of the bed. Right. He's just like more than he can take, and he comes out and like spews everywhere and like blows the operation.
Totally, man. Yeah, that was really great, man. They really like the way they lined that up and teed it up was excellent, man. I really enjoyed that part. Like it just kept like this whole thing with the smells just kept building throughout the whole movie, and it was a nice culmination. Excellent choice. I really liked it was towards the beginning, and they come out of something, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta hit the Arby's at the bottom of the hill, man. I want to eat." I was like, "Okay." What do you got? Go.
Whew, I don't know, man. I got to give it. There's some really great motorcycle fucking riding in this movie. Just great stunts.
Agreed. Yes.
It's kind of tropey, but I liked the whole the tripwire decapitation of Ray Kurtz's son, like
Reed
the Reed Jr.
Yes.
Exactly.
I did too. I like.
Yeah,
that
I just
too.
thought like the whole like chase up until then, that like just the parking garage and like the driving on the beach and all that shit was just like there's some good shit there.
No, it was well done, and as we already opined about, very chips, so digging.
Yeah,
out.
you had to have that stuff, right? And it was well done.
Absolute requirement. If you're going to leave out other things, you got to have just some very chips chases and such locales.
Yeah, it was a little sickeningly like an advertisement for Ducati, but whatever. The Ducati Hypermotard is a pretty sick bike, so.
Yeah, who cares, man? It was great. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? I got one of my favorite lines. My goal in life isn't to feel safe talking to you. Absolutely killed me, dude. Not as funny, but pretty damn funny. You eat more pills than Elvis. My last two are everyone is eating everyone's ass. And finally,
the ass
so
eating
great.
is like the recurring joke throughout the whole thing. Yeah.
I love it, man. It's so great. And I love when they finally figure out that D'Onofrio is the dude. And he's like, dude, never sent a Mother's Day card. Hates koala bears. That killed me. Right?
Yeah.
Good
Excellent
times.
stuff.
What else you got?
I don't know, man. We could probably leave it there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think we covered sort of everything else.
I'm sure I got something else, but...
we'll leave it on the floor of eternity.
Yeah, I reserve the right to bring shit up in future episodes.
It's our show. We can do
As
what
I'm
we want.
reminded. As I'm reminded of
annoy the
it
shit
in
out of Chad.
context. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, totally.
All right, nuggets.
All right. I only have one nugget, and it's something that I just read, and I was kind of disappointed, man, because I really thought this movie was funny, but apparently our beloved Larry Wilcox, who played John in the original show, tweeted about this movie when it came out, and he was like, basically like, way to go Warner Brothers, way to ruin the Chips brand.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I was like, wow, okay.
I mean,
I can see it. I can see
it, but also don't fucking take yourself so goddamn seriously, man. Christ.
I know.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I get it, but I guess if that's your legacy, then, you might be pissed off, but
yeah,
maybe you should just not take yourself so seriously.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I can see it coming from the purview of, what we were saying about how they really kind of should have leaned into it in a very Starskyan way, and in that sense, it wasn't really, so chipsy. But again, get over it, dude. It's just like a funny movie, man. It's not like, it's not like you remade Gone with the Wind, dude. You
right.
fucked it up,
I mean, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. It's like the,
fucking A.
Are we talking about the Pope or janitor here? Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you got anything for nugs?
I do. I have one nug, man. There's a scene.
Nice.
There's a scene where they're talking, and they're at another restaurant, and Pena makes a joke about getting a takeout container for Baker's shirt because he's spilled his chili dog all over himself or something. And they're at Tommy's Original World Famous, which is the same restaurant that they go to in Grandma's Boy after having a shitty experience at Our Lady Peace or whatever the hell it was, where
Totally,
Shiloh, the angry waiter, and shitting in the plant, and the pan flute player, all that stuff.
Guy blow. Totally. We love it. Yeah, that was good.
That's
nice
all
call.
I got, man. That's the only nugget I've got.
Okay. Deaths. We've only got a couple somewhat forgivable because we're doing a Twofer Hawat show. I ejected on Jump Street. Benny ejected on Dax. I ejected on whatever bunch of shit. And then we both had various ejections throughout the rest of the show. And that's about it. Not our strongest showing, but still representing.
You know, yeah, it's hard to concentrate on deaths when it's a two-man show.
Yeah, it is, you know.
I'm not going to fall on my sword just for the sake of it by saying something like,
oh, God, no. Falling on the sword is never required. Falling on the sword is not required. Okay, so ratings. Let's rate this baby.
I think I'm going to still stick with the 7.
Okay, I like it.
I said 6.5 to 7 at the beginning. I'm gonna just bump it up to the 7 and keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to stick with my 8.73. I was happy with that in the beginning, and this conversation only served to reinforce my rating.
I same amount in and out here, basically. It's, perfectly serviceable action comedy. It's not fucking Shakespeare, but the source material isn't either,
definitely.
So.
No, it's not. I'm going to freaking finish watching this again tonight.
Nice. Good. I'm glad you dug it.
Yeah, no, I did. And I'm really glad you suggested this, man, because I was about to start dipping into a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm glad we did this. This was excellent. I needed the laugh. So thank you.
Good, man. I'm glad. I'm very glad. It would have been, for one, just I'm glad I suggested something that you enjoyed. And for two, it would have been a really shitty podcast if it was two people, one who liked it, one who fucking hated it. So
yeah. That
would be a rough conversation.
No, it would have been, that might have been rough. Yep. Might have been rough. So yes. Okay. So
what are we doing next week?
Do we already?
They're in Mulvey?
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing next week.
The Northman.
I forgot. Are we doing Northman?
Yeah, we're doing Northman.
Ooh, sounds exciting. I've heard that's good.
It's a Viking film.
Well, Viking films are all the rage right now.
Bjork.
Yeah, there you go. Bjork. All right, so folks, thanks for joining us this week for Chips. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Next week, Chad will be back. We're all going to be doing Northmen. And that's it. You guys are great. Thanks so much.
Didn't we say that last week, Kev?
Oh, you old rascal, you.
In all fairness, yes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good night.
And that is going to wrap up this week's episode. Folks, if you'd like to check out the show notes, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/176. If you'd like to support the show, there's a number of great ways you can do it. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/EBD podcasts. You can rate us and review us on really wherever you get your podcasts. There's many places out there, and you know what they are. I'm not going to say them out loud. Also, tell a friend and check out the show. It's a powerful way to help us grow the show, is to tell your friends.
And it's fucking easy.
And folks, if you want to join us, this shit ain't easy, man. It's like being a pimp. Also, if you want to check us out on social media, folks, we use the handle @EBD Podcast everywhere. So please join us. We're mostly on Instagram, and you can join in on the sort of fun or whatever. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining us for Chips. We'll see you next week for Northman. And that's it. So long. Ta-ta.
7 Marry 3. Over and out.
Damn it, dude. That's what I was going to say, and I totally forgot. Yes. 7 Marry 4. Over and out.
Sealab, Twofer, Ego, drink from Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.